The second act, a more confident Trump. Donald J. Trump was back. After a tumultuous first term and a highly controversial election cycle, he had returned to the political arena with a renewed vigor. The atmosphere was electric, and his supporters were more enthusiastic than ever. The cheers that greeted him were not just for a politician, but for a figure who had become a symbol of defiance and resilience. His second-term victory, though contested, had solidified his presence in American politics. The 2024 election had been one of the most fiercely fought battles in recent history. Allegations of fraud, intense media scrutiny, and a deeply divided electorate had marked the campaign. Yet Trump emerged victorious, his win a testament to his unyielding base and his ability to galvanize a significant portion of the American populace. The 2024 election had been a brutal battle, but Trump emerged seemingly unscathed, emboldened even. His rallies were larger, his speeches more fiery, and his confidence unmistakable. He spoke with a newfound authority, a man who had faced the storm and come out stronger on the other side. The crowds that gathered to hear him were not just supporters, they were believers in his vision for America. Gone was the political novice who stumbled into the Oval Office in 2016. This Trump was different. He had learned from his past mistakes, honed his political instincts, and was now a seasoned player on the world stage. The transformation was evident in his demeanor, his approach, and his interactions with both allies and adversaries. He was no longer just a businessman trying his hand at politics. He was a leader with a mission. He was battle-tested, more assured, and seemingly more determined to reshape Washington in his image. His confidence was palpable. In meetings with his advisors, he was decisive, his vision clear. At press conferences, he spoke with an assertiveness that left little room for doubt. He was a man on a mission, and nothing was going to stand in his way. His agenda was bold, his plans ambitious, and his resolve unshakable. He spoke of mandates and landslides, dismissing any talk of a divided nation. To him, the election results were a clear endorsement of his policies and his leadership. He brushed aside criticisms and focused on the path ahead. His message was one of unity under his banner, a call to rally behind his vision for a stronger, more prosperous America. He was not just addressing his supporters, he was speaking to the entire nation, urging them to join him in his quest for greatness. The doubters, the naysayers, the fake news media, they had all been proven wrong, he proclaimed. His victory was not just a personal triumph, it was a repudiation of all those who had doubted him. He took every opportunity to remind the public of his achievements and to discredit those who had opposed him. His rhetoric was sharp, his tone unapologetic. He was a man vindicated, and he made sure everyone knew it. This time, there would be no learning curve, no period of adjustment. Trump was ready to hit the ground running. He had a clear agenda and a team that was aligned with his vision. Executive orders were signed with a flourish, each one a step towards fulfilling his campaign promises. His focus was unwavering, his determination evident in every action he took. He was not just leading, he was driving change with a sense of urgency and purpose. Trump was ready to act, and he was going to do it his way, consequences be damned. He was not concerned with political correctness or appeasing his critics. His approach was direct, his methods unconventional. He was a disruptor, and he reveled in that role. His supporters loved him for it, and his detractors feared it. But one thing was clear. Donald J. Trump was back, and he was more confident than ever. His second term promised to be even more transformative than the first, as he set out to leave an indelible mark on the American political landscape. This newfound confidence was evident in his every move, but nowhere was it more apparent than in his cabinet selections. Each choice he made seemed to defy conventional wisdom, challenging the status quo and surprising both supporters and critics alike. His decisions were bold, often controversial, and always calculated to send a clear message. He was not bound by traditional norms. From appointing business leaders with no political experience to selecting outspoken critics of established policies, Trump's cabinet picks reflected his unorthodox approach to governance. This strategy, while polarizing, underscored his commitment to shaking up the political landscape and redefining what it meant to lead. The names being floated were not the usual Washington insiders, but rather a mix of fresh and familiar faces. They were a mix of loyalists, firebrands, and political outsiders, each handpicked by Trump himself. It was a cabinet that reflected the president's own unorthodox style, and it sent a clear message. Trump was done playing by the rules. His choices for key positions were unconventional, often selecting individuals with little to no political experience. This approach was a stark departure from the traditional selections of seasoned politicians and experts. By appointing business leaders, military generals, and even family members, Trump aimed to shake up the status quo. His administration was characterized by a willingness to challenge established norms and disrupt the conventional political landscape. This bold strategy was both praised for its innovation and criticized for its unpredictability. Ultimately, it underscored Trump's commitment to bringing a fresh perspective to Washington. This was his moment, and he was going to seize it. The swamp, he declared, had been drained once, and it was time to finish the job.